Good morning. It is Sunday, April the 4th. Happy Easter. I've always enjoyed Easter, especially as a little child. You got all kinds of candy and goodies from your parents. But as I've grown older, another reason that I like Easter again is it is a reminder that God our Father raised his son Jesus from the dead and set him at his right hand, and he reigns forever and ever and will. Another reason I like Easter is you get to see a lot of bright clothes, and I like bright things as evidenced by my bright yellow tie. But anyway, a couple of things that I was thinking about this past week, and one actually from 2 weeks ago, was for those of y'all who may not be aware, 2 weeks ago, Debbie was on vacation. And so I took over, if you will, doing the bulletin, even though she had provided the template. And answered a few phone calls. Lyle answered some phone calls, took care of a few other things, but there were a lot of things that Debbie does. There are a lot of things that Debbie does behind the scenes that nobody ever really knows about. She handles a lot of phone calls. She handles a lot of emails. She handles some complaints. Believe it or not, people sometimes have complaints about what goes on around here, but she handles all of those. She takes care of the bank deposit, the attendance. She just does so many things behind the scenes that we don't even know about. And she does it quietly. She does it with a lot of grace and a lot of mercy. And this will come as no surprise to any of you all who know me. Much more grace and mercy than I have, or that I would display on some of the things that she has to deal with. But anyway, I just wanted to give her a shout out. Thanks, Debbie, for all that you do. And for those of us who, again, go about our daily business without ever knowing what goes on around here behind the scenes, we need to give her thanks. Also, yesterday was our Easter celebration, and Joey did a fantastic job of planning things and getting things organized and getting volunteers. And again, there were a lot of volunteers who did a lot of work behind the scenes that nobody ever knew about. And I thought about trying to name them all, but there's no way I could name them all. But again, there were some people again in front of the scenes. Again, if you were here, you saw Joey and you saw Janet and you saw a lot of other people. But again, there was a lot of work going on behind the scenes in order to make this a really good event for the people here at church and our preschool and the community. And again, a big shout out to all of those. And if you read your New Testament, especially the letters that the Apostle Paul wrote, almost every one of them at the end, he spends some time greeting people. And a lot of the times that you hear about these people, about the only time you hear about these people is at the end of these letters. There are a few that you hear about in other places in the New Testament, but for the most part, most of the people that he greets are people that the only time they are mentioned is at the end of one of Paul's letters. These individuals obviously meant a great deal to the Apostle Paul. They did their work quietly. They did their work without fanfare. They did their work without bothering about wanting credit or getting credit for what they had done. But they toiled behind the scenes, if you will, so that the Apostle Paul could spend his life doing what God told him to do, and that is preaching the gospel. There are a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, and very few people around here that you get to see in public. A lot of the hard work, a lot of the work that makes this congregation run and run smoothly and run well and be the outpost of the kingdom that we should be, go on behind the scenes. And most of us don't even know it. So let's take some time to offer a prayer to God and thank these people who toil tirelessly with grace and mercy behind the scenes, not worrying about getting credit for it. That's not why they do it. But let's give thanks for these people who work behind the scenes. So thank you, Debbie. And thank you for all those people who helped yesterday and all those people who do small things, if you will, behind the scenes that help this congregation be what it ought to be. Well, I pray you'll have a great week.